All right. So what do people feel about this? I was just looking at Chat GPT, and there were several instances where elections have been held in wars at different levels of success. But it looks to me as though most of those were civil wars, um, rather than international conflicts. And there have been different sort of levels of success. But then at the same time, there were elections held in Ukraine since 2014. However, that was a very different type of conflict. So I just wanted to hear from you guys. What do you think? Is this a terrible idea? Why is this happening? What's everyone feeling about this topic?
I can say that I'm completely against this idea because the first and the most important thing that reveals that it's money. It's a huge amount of money that is needed on many points. More like
On campaigning,
it can be
things like that.
it can be either military or humanitarian or whatever. It can be for if it cannot be used in military, if it's international um, donation, it can be used for making those who are wounded feel better and making their life better for their recovery. I
So
think that's completely bullshit.
normally are election campaigns funded by public donations, or what's the normal system? I know in New
Eh,
Zealand we normally have a lot of donations from the public, but I imagine right now that those donations are going to other places.
Yeah, it's not more like election campaign. It's more like elections itself, like
So
not free election.
the logistics of holding the elections are expensive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone
And
else?
those money that money that could be spent on uh, war agenda it will be spent to political um, to campaigns by politicians also, because it's also money that is needed those campaigns to be run. So
Yeah. It's
it's not
not.
just state money. It's not just um, money from the treasury. It's money from everywhere.
Mm,
It's the main and the first point that I can think of. The second one is more like manipulations that can be done uh, during elections and pre-elections. It's more like um, all politicians lie. They just are so. They cannot be different, and it can hardly jeopardize society integrity. So here are two main points, and I can think more of it, like
mm,
how all the elections will be provided to those who are near battlefields or on the battlefield. What international observers can fix that elections are righteous.
mm-hmm. And for people in the occupied territories as well as.
And occupying territories. And for those who left Ukraine, yeah, those who left Ukraine can obviously vote on council departments or embassies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Does anyone else want to add to any of those points, or agree or disagree?
Yes, I support Vita's meaning and can add that it is difficult to do. I mean about procedure because we have many soldiers who are on that territory, which are fired all days during the days, and I think you know that during the elections there are some control commission, and how I understand, that commission can't work on that territory which are fired, of course, and uh, we have the situation that our military won't be able to take part in elections. I mean to vote, and how our president said once in interview that many Ukrainian people are abroad now and like refugees, and um, uh, it was impossible for them to be present, to vote, and it is the situation that many people won't take part in that elections. But someone, I don't remember who it was exactly, but it was only an idea that people discuss that we have a program, it calls dia. It's program where we have our documents, but in program electric elect electric
So it's an electronic record.
yes,
Yes.
electronic document like passport, code, driver license, and it was idea to give an opportunity to vote in that program. But I think if the election would be, I think our our authority won't agree to vote by this program, by idea.
So are there still concerns about the security of electronic voting using this system?
Yes, because when you use that program, you should identify by electronic signature, and your not photo, but your face. The camera is open, and you identified that program identified your face. That
Yeah,
is
you have to
why.
blink.
Huh?
You have to blink.
You have to blink, so you can't.
Yes, and to blink.
Yeah,
And it is impossible to use a photo, for example.
I see.
Yes, that is why it's. I don't know. It is. It isn't an analog in the world.
Yeah, I see. It feels like I mean, I understand there's security concerns around it, but it seems like it would make things so much easier if we could vote that way in all over the world. Maybe.
Yes, I think it will be easy, but I don't sure if it will be if it will be safe.
I see. Zoya, did you want to add anything? What are your thoughts about this? If you just want to listen, that's fine as well.
I agree with previous person,
Mhm.
and yes, I can tell that elections during this full-scale war is extremely dangerous.
Mhm.
And speaking about our warriors, it will be difficult for them to use their rights to elect people.
Mhm.
That's why I agree.
So it feels as though everyone thinks this is a bad idea. I'm wondering why it's happening. Do you think it's pressure from international partners?
Some press claim that it is, but
Hmm.
who knows?
Who knows? And it also feels like it's quite obvious who's going to win. Maybe I'm out of touch, but what do you guys feel like? Isn't it wouldn't you say it's fairly certain who's going to win?
More than fairly, I think. I mean, I'm not Ukrainian. It's not my place to judge.
Say
I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know if it's relevant that I participate in the conversation, other than to say that it's really not the place for foreigners to say anything, especially when there are politicians from countries which could have sent way more aid than they did, but did not. As for, well, I mean, there are some Ukrainians asking for elections, sure, Alexei Arestovich. But either way, the constitution seems yeah, the constitution seems pretty clear that right now it's martial law, and during martial law there are no elections. And yeah, on top of all the practicalities, like how do you make sure that you can organize polls safely for civilians, even more so for the military. We know what happened a few days ago. The cost is also significant, and I mean, it's not like there's a huge oversupply of cash right now. There are much better ways to use them. And yeah, from what I understand, like Zelensky would be re-elected anyway. Even people who have some issues with Zelensky know that you don't change a president in wartime, and who do you put in his place? So yeah. I mean, I'm glad that at least the conversation is going well. When I heard that the topic was going to be about elections, I don't know, I should have had more faith. We're a healthy group. I guess.
Yeah. We did a vote in the student chat, and this is the topic that came up. So yeah, is anyone else want to add any thoughts or start a new topic?
Yeah, just
you know,
a little bit why it's happening at the first place, why this topic is raised at the first place in society. It could be it looks like opening Pandora's box at the first place. Like it can be some Western politicians who like Russian money very much. So it's more, it looks like this. So it was them who just manipulated with the notion of democracy itself and democratic society, that that elections has to take place, and so on and so forth. And I think it's more likely to be enemies' influence like
Mm,
this.
that would make sense. Can you imagine what would happen if there was a change in government? That would be pretty disruptive, I imagine.
I can't imagine who can be what will be the change for now.
Mm. Anastasia, you were going to say something.
Yes, you know, Arthur said about Patriot, and I remembered what I want to say. It's if you know that during the air alarm, all cities stopped and all should go to the shelter, and it is forbidden for, I don't know, shopping center and other government places. It is forbidden them to work, and I think that if election if it is how to correct to say, if election
It takes
next year would take place, I think that Russia will do everything Russia will do everything to make it impossible. And I think they can fire all Ukraine territory, you know, and that I want to say. And once more, that I support Vita's meaning that I can't imagine another person who can do with this war like Zelensky, and I don't know any candidate who we can choose. And I want to say, Arthur, that Aristovich not a good person. I don't know. He told many things and not good things, and I even thought that I even think that he works on Russia. I don't know, because
Kremlin.
Huh?
For Kremlin.
For Kremlin, yes, because everything that he told last, I don't know, 6 months was so stupid, and I even can't explain.
It feels
But
like him wanting an election is a little self-serving if he's thinking about running, or is he just talking about it?
He is talking about running.
Yes.
He published a political program, point 8 of which being giving up occupied territories to Russia and negotiating them with Putin's successor. He's been networking very closely with the Russian quote-unquote liberal opposition, and I think that's where he's going and who he's working for. And unfortunately, not enough attention is paid to them, like especially from fellow Western supporters. People pay a lot of attention to Kremlin propaganda, but they're not noticing the would-be next Tsars who are lining up for the inevitable succession. And they want to get some allies in Western countries to look respectable. Anyway, this is way beyond the scope of Balakun. I'm very interested in that topic, but I won't sidetrack.
He seems to rebuild. He seems to wishing to rebuild a Soviet Union 2.0, but on his own rules. So
Isn't
that's
it?
it.
Is it?
It's not even about Arestovich itself or Zelensky itself. We just do not have any other experience. We do not have any other example or yeah, we don't have another experience of having a president at full-scale invasion war, as when war started itself, there was no president. There was parliament's head on the head of the of Ukraine, on the head of state, and then it's reduced to that's war that is not war, that is also a war. When it's in use, it's war. When it's not in use, it's not a war. And most of people didn't realize that the war is still going on, and for all that 8 years, and we have no experience of having someone on that particular place where Zelensky is, despite all his acts and his words in the past. He's just the only one that we know in this place, and it's not like we cannot imagine anyone that would be better or worse than Zelensky. We just don't have anyone. And we cannot imagine there no other figure to be placed on his place. And when election will be announced, there would be many people, many candidates that will take advantage of everything that's going on. They will take advantage on the lack of political experience of Zelensky, and there will be just chaos, and it will be the major division of society, and that's the main harm that good elections do.
I think I agree on that, because it's something that I notice here when it's an election year. Suddenly everyone is more divided, and that seems like the last thing you want for a country that's at war, is to have people arguing over dinner about politics. Do you know what I mean?
Or infighting.
Exactly, yeah. Zoya, did you want to add anything there? Can you think of a better candidate? So
And you know,
I can add.
if yes, please.
I can add that I can imagine another candidate, because our nation is so rich in good politician, not so good, but good, not politician, but diplomat.
good diplomat.
I don't remember this.
Diplomats?
Yes,
yeah.
But we can't allow to do harm to our today's situation, because elections may послабити our country. That's why I have just found information that more than 81% of Ukrainians are against against these elections.
Yes. So you need an election about whether to have an election. I think that would solve the problem.
That could be a referendum in the application.
Well, that makes
But
more
it
sense.
can be more of advisory than legal referendum.
That makes sense. If
I think
everyone
it's
feels
illegal.
strongly.
Illegal using dia. It is a bad idea, as for me.
No, I mean, like, there are some questionnaires in there. Like there has been a questionnaire regarding that's I don't know if I should translate it. Родина мать, like батьківщина мати, that motherland, motherhood, that statue in the center of Kiev. So there was a questionnaire regarding this one and Eurovision, and it can be also a questionnaire. Nevertheless, it won't be legal referendum. It's just a questionnaire that has to stop on the moment that they know the position of majority of people, and that's it. So
it's not legally binding. It's just a
yeah.
It's just an indication.
It's not legit. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so we better wrap up. Does anyone want to add their final thoughts to the topic? So as I said, this has been recorded, and we're gonna put it up for people who are interested to know what your perspectives are. So if you want to add any final thoughts about this, go ahead now, and then we'll wrap it up for today.
I just if we summarize all our conversation, I can say that election during the war, it is expensive. It is not easy procedure, and we can't do it correctly. For my opinion, we don't have a better candidate than Volodymyr Zelensky, and I think if we can imagine if Ukrainian choose another person, I think that it will take some time to new president to get to know about all procedure, and we don't have we shouldn't waste time to get known for a new president, and I think it's better to stay for Volodymyr Zelensky.
That's great. Thank you for the summary. Vit, do you have any final thoughts on this?
That's too much said already.
Yeah, okay, cool. Zoya, any final thoughts? No, you're still on mute, Zoya, if you wanted to. Okay, I think that's great. Thank you so much for telling us your thoughts and for explaining so thoroughly what you think about this topic. Does anyone have any ideas about a topic for next week? So the next session like this will be on Thursday. We'll have another session like this on Thursday. So if anyone has any ideas or anything they want to talk about, either put it in the student chat or send it to me directly. Otherwise, I'll come up with something from the C1 sort of syllabus. So there's a lot of different topics on that C1 syllabus, and we can just work through those if people don't have specific things that they want to talk about. And so today's one was just news and current events, and it was very interesting and insightful for those of us not from Ukraine to hear your thoughts about it. Rebecca and Arthur, did you want to say anything else before we leave?
No, just to thank. Yeah, it was very interesting to hear the opinions of people here.
Yeah. Cool, that's great. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope to see you on Thursday. Or if not, then next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Have a
day.
nice
Bye
day.
bye.
Bye.
Дякую.